Good evening, girls. I am back. Hope you all are well. We are going to be continuing with Google SketchUp today. If you all were at the webinar on Wednesday, could you tell me what you got to? Oh, I missed you ladies too. Do you know if you were still on SketchUp lesson 1? I tried to find the recording, but oh, that's okay, Caleb. We'll get you caught up. Girls, can you raise your hand if you were here on Wednesday? Okay. Okay. Caitlin, we are going to move forward, but I will put I will ask where that recording is, make sure it gets posted. Did you guys make 3D text? 3D text, does this look familiar? Valerie or Azelle? Yes, no. Yes, okay. Cool. Then let's try SketchUp lesson 2. You girls can go ahead and open SketchUp. All right. We're going to start with making a temple. We're going to start with a completely new drawing. So double click to open SketchUp. Hey, Annika. We're working on SketchUp today. You're going to use the the feet and inches template, the simple template, feet and inches. Start using SketchUp and it should open a new file. And what the first thing you're going to do is delete this guy, but I'll give you guys a moment to get caught up. Open SketchUp, make sure you're in the simple template, feet and inches. I know. You're not. I'm just waiting for people to open SketchUp. Mira. If you all could go ahead and raise your hand once you have done this, once you have a new SketchUp file open in feet and inches. All right, Annika, we're going to move on. The first thing I want you guys to do is click View at the top here, Tool Palettes, Large Tool Set, to make sure that you have this large tool set on the side. If there's a little check mark next to it, then leave it be. But if there's no check mark next to it, then click it so that you get this tool set on the side. And then yes, you can click on the old guy and delete him. Some view controls. Hit O on your keyboard to orbit, and that allows you to kind of rotate around a point. While you're using the orbit tool, you can hold Shift down on your keyboard and pan. Orbit, pan. You can also zoom using your mouse wheel. All right, we're going to create a 10 apostrophe, comma, 20 apostrophe. We made a rectangle that's 10 feet by 20 feet. And again, how I did that, I clicked to start a rectangle. I pulled off to the side, and without moving my mouse anywhere, I just started typing. 10 apostrophe, comma, 20 apostrophe. I did not need to click down into this dimensions box. I just started typing. And raise that up 2 feet. No. Let's try 5 inches. Raise that up 5, double quotation mark. Raise your hand once you've done this. Yeah. I'm going to just start over. You click once. You drag your mouse to the side. You're not clicking and dragging. You click once and release your mouse. Then you can move your mouse off to the side to get the shape started. Then you can just start typing. You don't have to click into the box at the bottom. You just start typing. 10 apostrophe, comma, 20 apostrophe makes a 10-foot by 20-foot rectangle. You then use the push-pull tool. Select the surface. Start moving the shape up a little bit. And you can type 5 double apostrophe, 5 inches. "10 feet by 20 feet, and then raising it up by 5 inches. All right, raise your hand once you've done this. And this is really important. You all may be faster at SketchUp than other people in the class, and that's absolutely fine. But you shouldn't mess with your shape while you're waiting for others, because we're trying to build something as, you know, the class. So if you get bored, don't do something like mess up your view so much or you can't get back to the same spot or mess up your shape. If you want, you can have kind of a shape to the side that you're working on. Just make sure it doesn't interfere with this one, and try not to get lost, okay? All right, so still waiting. Keep your hand raised whenever you have this rectangle. Still waiting on 2 hands. Adele and Caitlin, do you need another demonstration or still open? Just give me a heads up kind of what's going on. Okay, well then, Adele, raise your hand. All right, Caitlin, we can go through it one more time. But also, if you may just need to watch the, oh, okay, Caitlin. I thought you were just like really upset. You may need to watch the recording. You click once to start a corner. You move your mouse to the side. I'm using the rectangle tool right now. I'm not clicking and dragging. If you accidentally mess up, just hit Command Z or go to Edit, Undo. You're going to make your rectangle 10 apostrophe comma 20 apostrophe big. You just type that when the rectangle shape is started. Then you use the push-pull tool, select the surface, and move it up. You just move up. Notice I'm not clicking and dragging. I clicked the surface one time, and now I'm able to move my mouse to my convenience. Then I typed 5 double quotation marks. Oh dear. Okay, Azelle. I'm sorry about that. Is that okay, Caitlin? All right, Caitlin, it's not something you have to get. So, all right, use the selector tool. Click any shape that you had. Triple click it to select the whole thing. If it's 3D, double click it if it's just 2D. And then hit delete on your keyboard. You can click and drag everything that you have and hit delete. We're going to start over. Then select the rectangle tool. Click one time to start your rectangle. You're not clicking and dragging. Then, if you look at my screen right now, the pencil is where my mouse is. Both of my hands are up from my keyboard. So I'm not clicking and dragging. You can just You know, whenever I move it, I'm touching my mouse, but not touching my mouse right now. So I'm not moving my mouse, so it's down into the bottom dimensions. I'm leaving my mouse where it is. My hands are off the keyboard. What I'm going to do is just start typing in my keyboard. 1, 0, apostrophe. And you'll see that at the bottom right of your screen, you can see those numbers. But you didn't actually have to type and get that box. Oops. So you type 10 apostrophe, comma, 20 apostrophe, and you hit enter. Same thing for push-pull. Click the surface one time, and now you can either start a push or a pull. You're going to pull up. You can pull up a lot if you want. Now you just type 4 quotation mark and hit enter, and it makes it 5 as a pull up. All right, Caitlin, we're gonna have to move forward. If you're still having trouble, I can maybe help you at the end. Definitely watch those recordings, okay? All right, y'all, we're gonna use the offset tool. Sorry, I got some of my southern drawl there. We are going to, the offset tool is this one right here. It's right next to the push-pull tool. It looks like a circle with a red circle on the outside. And what this does is it creates a similar shape, smaller or bigger than the edges of a certain face. So that might not make a lot of sense. So what you do is you click the offset tool, and then you can select a face, and the face that you select, all of the edges of that face, it's going to create a duplicate. So here it creates, I selected that flat rectangular shape, and it created a duplicate of my edges. Notice you can make it larger or smaller. Really similar to everything else, I did not click and drag, and now I have the freedom to move my mouse, take my hand off my mouse. And I'm going to type 5 inches, 5 quotation mark, and then I hit enter. And it created a rectangle that's 5 inches on each side, smaller than our big rectangle, and it's perfectly centered. It's much better than just trying to click and drag a rectangle, because this isn't going to be perfectly centered. You're not going to be sure, is it 5 inches on every side? Like, you're just not sure. So the offset tool is really great because you know that it's going to be in the center of your shape. And once you've done that, I want you to make this inside shape. Notice that the border is not being highlighted here. This inside shape, 5 inches taller. And you create these like set of stairs almost. Raise your hand once you have this shape. You can also message me if you need help. And I will try to help. We just, I want us to be able to finish the temple. How did you get the stairs? Okay, well, Valerie, I can show you again if you want. I use the offset tool and the push-pull tool, which I just showed. All right, so watch my screen for a second. I use the offset tool, and I want to create another rectangle directly in the middle of this rectangle. So I'm going to click the edge, and notice how it creates this kind of perfect copy of that rectangle that the edges make. I'm going to go from the inside here, and I'm going to type 5 inches, and that creates kind of a frame that's 5 inches wide on all sides. And now I'm going to select this inner rectangle, pull up by 5 inches. All right. Sorry about that, Caitlin. We'll have a catch-up day kind of with more questions. So watch that. Yeah, definitely watch those recordings, and I wish you the best of luck. But I think that should help a lot because we practice a lot with the push-pull tool in the first two lessons. And congratulations on your big performance. That's great. Got it. Great. How many webinars are left in this course? 2, not including tonight. You're very welcome, Caitlin. All right, make sure you raise your hand once you have this double set of stairs. Oh, I played the flute. Singing and playing flute. Yeah, that's a lot. Goodness gracious. Good lungs for that. Okay. All right, so Azelle and Caitlin are not doing this at the same time. Valerie said you got it. Okay, we're gonna move forward. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add columns. So what we're gonna do here, we want our first column to be off to the side here, and we want it to be 1 inch in. So to do that, what we're gonna do is use this ruler tool. It looks like this measuring tape. And we're going to click the end point corner here on our top stair. And we're going to pull over. And we're going to type 5, quotation mark, 5 inches. And it creates that little dot there. That's called a guide point. That's going to help us. Same thing moving up. Select the end point. Move your mouse up. Notice that I'm on the green axis there. 5 inches. And another little guide point with me. Why is that helpful? Well, we're going to use those guide points. Click from the guide point and click up. Here, I'll show that again. Give you guys a minute to add those guide points. They're 5 inches from the end. Mira, we're not exactly building the Parthenon, but we're building something similar. I think you'll enjoy it once we get that. I know, but we're not building it quite as big as the Parthenon. Okay. From this guide point, you're gonna, everybody look at my screen for a second. Oh, wait. Looking for the, okay. You're gonna click the first guide point and notice how my mouse is moving along, it looks red. That's because I'm moving along the red axis. I'm going to type 2 feet, and it made this dotted line that's 2 feet. We're going to do the same thing this way. Select the first guide point there, move your mouse up, notice it's on the green axis, and then I'll type 2 apostrophe, and a 2 foot long double dotted line appears. Go ahead and try that. How did I zoom in? I used my mouse wheel. You can also use a myriad of things. Valerie, look at my screen for a second. If I want to zoom in just to right there, I can use this tool in my large tool set. It looks like a magnifying glass with a red dotted line, and I can click and drag, one of the few times you click and drag, wherever I want to zoom in on. Raise your hand once you got these guide points and these guidelines. They're going to help us place the base of our column. Oh, we got a Greek architecture expert here, says Annika. Mira is our Greek architecture expert. Valerie, let me know when you're ready to move forward. Oh, great. Okay. So what we're going to do, and Isabella, I just know that you started kind of late into the game. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to catch up. Love for you to join us, but that's why I have been waiting for your hand. And you'll be able to watch the recording. You can kind of jump in and just build the columns if you want. It's up to you. So what we're going to do, this is not going to be exact, but it's going to be close. You're going to try to find where these two lines intersect. And notice my view here. I click O on my keyboard to get a good orbit, and I can hold down Shift to pan, and I'm using my orbit tool. It gives me a nice, good view of this. I use my mouse wheel to zoom. All right. I have my rectangle tool, and I'm going to try to get as close as possible to that intersection. There we go. And I want this to be a 1 foot by 1 foot column. So I said 1 foot by 1 foot. Oh, Mira, did you get a bug splat report? Mira reminded us all, it's really important to save. I should have done that right from the start, and I'm so sorry, Mira, that happened to you. Hit File, Save As, right now. And you can save this one as Temple, or Ancient. Temple, I guess is the best word for it. Mira, you just zoomed in weird. So make sure everyone saves right now, just in case. And then Mira, go to View, or go to Camera. What? Go to Camera, Standard Views, ISO. Okay, but Mira, even if you're in ISO, like, look, if I zoom in really, really close, and I go to View ISO, it's still zoomed in, right? So you got to zoom out. You can try to return to your old view. That's this key down here, previous, will cycle you through previous views. Do that, Mira. Do that. This one cycles you back. I did not know that existed till right now. Valerie, it could be because you're trying to put it in the wrong axis. I'm not sure. I will help you in just a moment. Okay, girls that are having trouble getting the rectangle there, I want you to switch your views around. Make sure that you guys move your orbit tool. Make sure that you're making your rectangle flat, that your guide points aren't vertical. Okay, and if that's still not working, then here's what we'll do. Okay, oh goodness gracious. Girls that are having trouble with the rectangle, look at my screen for a second. I'm trying to delete this line. Okay. Yeah, the blue dot disappears, but it will still let you start a rectangle there. Oh, goodness. I say it does not work. Let's see. Well, that is very bizarre. All right, let's do this. Create your rectangle a little bit away from the center. Again, you want it to be 1 foot, comma 1 foot, and hit enter. Whoa. One foot, 1 foot. Yeah. And we're going to select that rectangle. I'm going to get a good view to select it in. Select just the rectangle, and we're going to use the move tool. Notice how the whole rectangle is selected. I'm going to grab it from the corner and move it over down on the green axis first, and then over on the red axis. Okay, so if it's not letting you start in those dotted lines, move it, make your rectangle away from the dotted lines, get to a good view. Mira, I didn't forget about you. I'm going to help you in just a moment. Click and drag using the selector tool to select just the square, and using the move tool, select the square by the bottom endpoint, move it down along the green axis, and then move it over along the red axis. We always move one axis at a time. All right, Mira. I'm going on Edmodo. I'm going to post this file for you. Mira, I can, and you're very fast, so I can absolutely do that for you, or you can just get the file from Edmodo for right now, and then at a later point, go through it. All right, Mira, I posted that for you. Holly. Holly, change your view and make sure your rectangle is flat on the surface of your temple. Use the rotation tool and make sure this rectangle is flat. Then you should be able to use the move tool, select it, and move it right and left on the red axis or up and down on the green axis. No problem, Mira. Holly, if it's not working for you like this, use a view more similar to this. How are we doing? Raise your hand once you're able to get something like this. All right, Valerie's got it. Holly. Oh, Holly, you got it. Wonderful. Annika's got it. Mira, you got it. Okay, great. And Isabella or Caitlin or Adele, I did just put the file up for Mira. Okay, the next part is pretty cool. I think you guys are going to enjoy this part. You're going to take, oh, well, there is some prep work before we get to the cool part. You're going to take your ruler tool again. You're going to select diagonally across the square on both corner to corner, like this, so it creates an X so we can find the center of that square. All right. Then you're going to use something called the polygon tool. In the bottom right corner of your screen, it should say how many sides your polygon tool has. I have not clicked anything on my screen other than the polygon tool. I have not clicked to start the polygon tool. Before you click, after you click the tool, but before you click anywhere on the screen, type 12 and hit enter. That's going to make your polygon tool 12-sided. Then you want to select the intersection of those two guidelines, and you want your radius to be 6 inches. Look at my screen right now. Notice I just pulled it out until it was the midpoint of the square. It fits perfectly in there. And actually, this is up to you. You guys can make it a little bit smaller if you want. That can actually look kind of nice if the column's a little bit thinner than the square. Raise your hand once you've gotten to this point. All right, girls that haven't gotten there, I'm going to go through it again, okay? So if you need to see it again, I'm going to go through it real fast. We use the ruler tool and go corner to corner on the square. This is going to allow us, where that intersection is, that's the center of the square. It's going to allow us to find it. We select the polygon tool. Without clicking anything else, you type 12 on your keyboard and hit enter. That makes it so that our polygon is going to have 12 sides. You're going to start the polygon, the center of the polygon, at that intersection. And you're going to move so that you're making this along the green axis or the red axis. For simplicity's sake, along the green axis. You can go all the way out to the midpoint of the line, or you can make it a little bit smaller than that. Great. All right, here's where it gets kind of funky. You're going to take the circle tool. Eyes on my screen for a second, because it's a little weird. You're going to select one of the endpoints from your polygon, and you are going to make it a half-inch circle. So I'm going to go 0.5 quotation mark. And I'm going to make 0.5 circles all around here. Notice all I have to do is move my mouse a little bit, and then it assumes 0.5. Because SketchUp is really smart. It can predict what you want to do. Because it's not smart when it thinks you're trying to select something that you're not. So you go around the entire side and you make 0.5-inch circles. Go ahead and do that. Raise your hand when you're done. Yeah, raise your hand when you're ready to move on. But you're making 12 circles here, so take your time. All right, eyes on my screen for a second. The next step is to select Edit, Delete All Guides. That just cleans up our screen a little bit. Go ahead and do that. All right. Again, eyes on my screen. You guys are going to use the eraser tool to erase the upper part of every circle. Now look at this circle here. It's really easy on this circle. You just erase that upper part. But on this one, it intersected with the side of our square, so you have to go and get that upper part too. Don't forget that. So you should just be left with the circle inside your shape. All right, go ahead and do that here. So all of your circles. It should take some time. There's no rush. If you mess up, edit, undo. No stress. Notice how I'm constantly moving my view. I want to be zoomed up in enough so I know what's going on. Yeah, raise your hand when you've done that. Great, okay. So now we're gonna use our eraser tool again, and we're gonna erase these pointy ends. And we're left with something similar to the cross section of a column. Raise your hand once you've done that. That should be a little bit easier. Great. All right, I'm going to move a little quickly through this next part just because we're running low on time, and this part I think is very cool. You're going to enjoy it. Get to a view similar to this, so you kind of see the top down of your shape. And no stress, you all. If you do start to get a little behind here, you'll always have the recording to catch up on. You're going to use the selector tool and click and drag around your box. Look at my screen. Look what I'm doing here. I have a really good view of what's going on. And I can make a box that will completely fit just my column shape. That's what I want. Go ahead, and then you'll right click it and hit Make Component. Look at my screen. Make Component. go ahead and do that now, and you're going to call it column. All right, raise your hand once you've done that. Okay, I'm experimenting with something right now. Hold on. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, you can notice how I have my move tool, and I'm hovering over the edge of my component, and the whole thing is blue, which is really nice. What you can do is select, holding Alt down on your keyboard, click on the corner of your column. As soon as you do that, you can release the Alt key. And you can move, I want you to move that component over on the green axis. And you're going to hit 2.5 apostrophe and hit enter. And it made a copy. Then you can hit times 5. Ooh. So you hold Alt down, click the endpoint, move it over 2.5 feet. And then you can hit X5, and that will do it 5 times. Except let's do it 6 times. All right, so now you guys try. You have your move tool out. You hold Alt down on your keyboard, and you click the edge of your column, your right now flat column. You can remove your hand from the Alt key now. Move your column over 2.5 feet, enter. And then without moving your mouse, without touching anything else, hit the letter X and then the number 6 and hit enter. And that did it 6 times. It's not perfect, but it'll work for today's example. Okay. I'm going to go through this again, but I want to first show you all kind of what you're doing here. And you can also watch this on the recording if we do run out of time. So eyes on my screen for a moment. You're going to double click any of your components. And now you'll notice it looks a little different. If I single click it, it's just blue. If I double click it, this weird kind of box comes up. You're going to use the push-pull tool on the center of the column in the box, and notice how that change is happening to all the components. And you're going to make them 8 feet tall. Whoa, way too high. You're going to make them, let's say, 5 feet tall. Much better. So all you have to do is edit one, and it edits all of them. That's why components are so handy. You're also going to take the base up 6 inches. Pretty cool. does look like grease. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that again. Someone said that the ×6 thing wasn't working. I'm going to show you how to do it one more time, okay? So pay attention for just a moment. Mira, you have your move tool. You hold Alt down on the keyboard and select the endpoint of their component and move it over to the left on your screen along the green axis. Now my hands are off my keyboard and I can type 2.5 apostrophe and I hit enter. Not moving my mouse. Not the first thing I type on my keyboard after I hit enter is the letter X and then the number 6 for the number of times you want to make this change. And now it's going to make 6 copies, each 2.5 feet apart. Then I double click one of the components. I pull up the base however far I want that. I'd say about 6 inches. And the column however far I want that. I'd say about 5 feet. And it makes the change to all the components. All right. And actually what I'd recommend doing is kind of waiting to do the to make the component bigger until you can actually hold down Alt, use the move tool with all of your components selected. Hold down Alt and move, make a copy of all of your columns. Here I'm just going to estimate. Move tool, hold down Alt to make a copy on move. There. Then when you double click to edit one, you can actually edit them all. All right, you guys, we're going to learn how to put a roof on it on Wednesday. Watch the recording if you got a little lost there at the end. I hope you're enjoying this. It's very satisfying to see your hard work. I know it's tough, but when you get kind of results like this, hopefully it's as satisfying for you all. All right. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all Wednesday.